Hello, everybody. You will not believe it. There is a hawk outside my window. Like, legit. Oh my gosh. It's not that close. Here, wait. I'm trying to get a better picture. Eh. Come on. No, my stupid camera won't focus. Come on, please. It's my blinds. Here, wait. Come on. Yes. That's the best picture I can get. Here, wait. Oh my gosh. Well, hello, everybody. I hope you're doing well. It's currently 5 o'clock. There's a hawk outside my window just staring me down. Welcome to the stream, Hawk. Seems like you may be the only viewer tonight. Um, wow, that's so cool. Oh man, that's what a great way to start the stream. Uh, Sadly, no one else is here to. I just kind of want to look at it for a second. Just looking around. I think it was chasing a dove or something, and it like flew right past my window. Its wingspan was way too big to be a dove. Yeah, this guy's a little bit smaller than some of the other hawks I've seen. Look at him. Oh, we're going to take off? Who knows? I wish I could show you this. Sadly, I mean, I could. I'm not going to though. Cool, cool. Let's get warmed up while I like peer at the hawk just a little bit away. Oh, that's so cool. So glad our hawk friend can join us this stream. If you're watching this, maybe sometime in the future or whenever, glad that you could also join us. We should have started. There we go. Oh, just chilling there. Today was a day. That's all. And that was not a good line. Let's improve that. Focus up. I'm so distracted by the hawk now. Such a big tail. Oh my gosh. Guess it's for all those fancy tricks I was seeing earlier. Nope, and it's gone. Just like that. Now I can focus. What a treat. When I was studying today, I forgot I used to listen to this one a ton, the Garden Path OST, and I was like, oh my gosh, why do I not play that during stream? It's great. I realized I can't because of the media player that I use, so we're musicless in that regard, but we have some good stuff to replace it. Ah, that was way too parallel. Decent line work for someone who was complaining about line work earlier. This is so highly foreshortened compared to the other VP. Not the best warm-up box ever. Line work's pretty good, but conceptually, meh. I don't think we've ever had a perfect box before, though, and I don't think there is a perfect box. Nice. I'm so sad my hawk's gone. That was so cool. I only got one decent photo, which hey. A lot of smearing ink, but some decent line work with my ellipses, so we'll take it where we can get it. Definitely gonna wash some hands after stream though. Oh, jeez, smearing ink everywhere. Oh my gosh. Oof, that was a horrible ellipse. I couldn't decide the degree there. Jeez. Nice. Oh, we're speedy and accurate tonight. I love to see it. Smearing a lot of ink though, but maybe that's a product of being both speedy and accurate. Oh yikes. Nice. Cool, cool. Wow. We're really good on Warmup. Let's do another one of these then. Also, is my music breaking? I feel like it has been doing that a lot as of recent. Hmm. Uh-oh. Did my internet go out? No, okay, we're still good. Maybe my internet did go out. Why are things not loading? Huh. There we go. Did the overlap a little bit too much, but eh. Too many ellipses. We're gonna call it there for warm up. This is a fun little one. So, as you guys know, we're gonna head over to 2 minutes BRB. Come back. Hopefully the hawk will come back to grace our tape dispenser. I'm gonna keep calling it the tape measure. I don't know why. But the tape dispenser, we're working on that construction now. We're working on the initial dimensions of everything. We're kind of having troubles with this 4:3 ratio. But yeah, be right back, everybody. Back, sorry, I was uploading my picture of the hawk, which was just so cool. What a cool little visit. What's up, Cap? Yeah, so today we're gonna just return to our tape dispenser. Nothing too crazy. I'm a bit upset with the dimensions so far. It's a really tough problem. Part of me wants to address it from like a mathematical perspective. Um, where instead of just relying solely on the dividing planes thing, we kind of create our own dimensions, which still will fall within those. I don't really like this song. Jeez. We're gonna skip that one. Here we go. But yeah, so that's the goal. Got everything ready. Let's do it. So yeah, last we left off, we were trying to consolidate the idea of how just crazy these dimensions are. It seems splitting it into quarters and stuff did help somewhat. I just feel like that could be very destructive. There's multiple takes on this where we could also have the choice of not having true squares, but I feel like that undermines a lot of what we're doing if we don't have true squares. Sure, they won't come out as like true squares once we actually draw it because of human error and whatever. But yeah, I still want to keep them true squares, which means mathematically we should be around there. Just like measurements, like what did we get? 1330 seconds is a bit ridiculous. So maybe we start from the smallest dimension and scale up. But yeah. And yo, what's up, Bear? Also, yeah, the hawk outside my window. I think it's a Cooper's hawk. I'm not too sure though. Trying to think about this. This is gonna be one of those streams where I'm just kind of chilling here, thinking. thinking um, about how we want to do things. Lots of math, all that good stuff. I kind of want to redo the sketch um, with different colors, but probably only do that when we've decided on a good ratio between things. I do really like dividing this into fourths. I think that's the way to go. Right? 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, 1/4. Uninstall Pinterest. It's addicting. I get it. I've fallen victim to the Pinterest scroll many times. Sorry. I wanted it to be like up there, like aesthetically pleasing. You know, we're probably gonna mess with it during stream. Now I have a stray piece of tape to dispose of. Pinterest algorithm, they know what they're doing. Oh, I just dropped the freaking plastic on the frickin'. Will not chat much, have to set up stuff. That's totally cool. Thank you for letting us know, Bear. See, yeah, dividing into fourths is so great. It makes so much sense and it feels so accurate. And it aligns with some stuff pretty well. Just transferring that over frickin' sucks. How bad is okay? We'll use this side for a bit. I'm gonna do another general sketch of this. And I think we're gonna commit to the fourths this time. What is Cat on about? I don't even know what you're talking about. I have a addiction that I need to admit to you guys. Not an addiction, maybe a little bit. I've never cared for the button show on YouTube, where like they get two people, they do speed dating, and they press the button if they want to like remove the next person, like go into the next person. It's a gross show that I feel like undermines relationships and how those work. Paints a bad picture of people. I don't like it personally. But I started watching it because it gets so cringy and I love cringe. I love cringe so much. I eat it up. Like freaking Smash Bros cringe compilations. I love those. Cuz like you're getting some of the nerdiest geekiest people imaginable and forcing them to interact with each other. Um and that's awesome. I love it. I love it a lot. What are you on about, Cat? Let's see. This is starting to. I still feel like the halfway mark is like through here. So vertically, we're only slightly above that. I don't think that's the name of it. I think it's literally called the button. I don't know what weird stuff you're on, bro. But no, it's a gross show. I don't really support it at all, but it's funny. It's cringy, more so than funny, I guess. Not mess with it though. That goes further. That's like right here-ish. Yeah, that feels better. Nice. I wish I had white out. Pencil? No. This doesn't go perfectly right here, though. It goes a little bit up. That's where it gets straight right here. My condolences. And then there's like a little segment off of it where it gets straight. You're part of the problem. Maybe. It's not like I'm giving them money or watching their ads, but I am a view, so that is true. To be honest, I don't even watch them. I watch Ludwig react to them, so I'm not giving them anything. But I am supporting Ludwig. Support them. So now you're in a weird place. You have to make the decision. It's like, oh shoot, are reaction streams morally permissible if if it's for bad content that shouldn't get reviews, right? So who knows in that regard? That's less than a fourth of this. Maybe it is a fourth, so that totals an eighth. Be a bit weird. It feels like more like a third, though. I'm gonna do that. Still feels a bit high. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see the center of this circle. A little bit above, which kind of sucks. I mean, I can't control what you do. If I were in your position, I would say don't do it, but bing bong, right? Say wherever the top of this is where this is, which is dependent on this. Which in the previous one I said it was like that's a fourth. And this is a fourth. So this must be You literally just said you doom scroll. So what do? Do you gather references or how many references do you need to draw? You could spend a billion years collecting references. Doesn't really make up much for drawing though. Like if you offset all of your Pinterest time with time spent drawing, would you say was one more well spent than the other? Also, big news, guys. I just remembered Ultra Kill new update, which I'm very excited for. This is one of the bigger near to final ones. I can't remember. I'm too busy studying for job interviews and stuff, so sadly, nah. But and then the Kane Pixels Backroom movie trailer has also dropped. I have mixed feelings about. Kane Pixels is awesome, probably one of my favorite creators out there. My favorite analog horror creator slash backrooms trope creator. He did it best. And the oldest view is probably my favorite piece of horror fiction on all of YouTube. But like the trailer felt very blendery. What about 50%? You have like 3 measurements happening here, and I don't like it. I'm gonna hold this flat. Yeah, I'd say these two are on the same axis, and that's slightly lower than the center, but I think we can make all of them equal. Actually, no, because this has a set position. This, like I said, it's a fourth. We'll do like a very thin line. Means the center is 3/8. Yeah, nice. Should draw it. The most constructive thing for me figuring out how to draw certain characters, like Puma Dude, for example, is just drawing them, figuring it out. Drawing iterations, and not like the same pose over and over again. I feel like that's kind of reductive. Which is like, I have 50 drawings lined up. That's a big number. It's not, let's say, right now with Puma Dude, I have like 10 drawing ideas. All of them are in the backlog sketchbook, right? And so with each of those, I get another attempt at kind of like defining things and changing up how I draw Puma Dude. There's that like knee-jerk reaction where it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to draw him incorrectly. I don't want it to look ugly. We all have that fear of our art looking ugly. But I feel like that is not necessarily true, or a good way of looking at it. Because if you draw it now, and it was quote-unquote good looking, you could still change it, right? And plus, you're never going to get that perfect drawing. See, these feel like they're on very close to the same level. Those can be extrapolated to that, and possibly these. So let's figure this out. If it's a square, and we know that this goes from a half to a quarter, then we need to find that same place over here. Which means we need that. Gotcha. I thought you couldn't draw at night. What changed? Alrighty, so we're gonna start doing some messed up math. So, I like when it comes to conversions, I'm not smart, right? I'm dumb. So what I do is, well, I know 4 times something equals 3 times something. We have two unknowns, only one equation. So you can't solve it, right? You don't have enough for the linear combination, but or there's infinitely many solutions, right? But let's lock it in. So I know as a solid thing that 1.5 times something equals 2 times something. We have 2 equations, 2 unknowns. Bewitching, man. Bewitching. Sorry, right as you said that, Leifei popped in my head. Now we need to play Leifei. How's it going, Dio? Hope you're doing well. Anyways, 1.5 times 4 equals 2 times 3. So we could do 1.5 equals 3 over 4 times 2. This gives us our conversion factor. So if we have something in the 4 dimension, which is x, we can multiply it x by, or sorry, you can get x by doing 3/4. Let's say you can do that, or for y, if you want to find y, you just multiply by the reciprocal. Look at that, guys, algebra. Just chilling, heck yeah. We're continuing our depth, our dive into our tape measure. Dude, I keep saying it, tape dispenser. Anyway, so we know that this is at coordinate 1/2, which makes our life easier. We know it's going to be at 1/2 over here. So we know that x, and we have the equation for this. I'm going to say 4/3 times 1/2 equals 4/6. Which equals, wait, why am I tripping? No, I'm not tripping. Okay. 2/3. So that's where this would be. Actually, no, it's also at 1/2 over here. That's the true 2x's of it. If we actually want to find this, we have to go do a little bit more. Because that spans over here to 1/4. So yeah, now we have this distance to worry about from the halfway mark. Ooh, this is weird math. So we effectively want this. As a sanity check, if this is 1/4 of a 4, which is 1, 1 over 1/3 is going to be much larger a ratio. So we're going to get a larger fraction for this. A good way of doing this is what I did last stream. It just gave us very gross numbers. Is we know that the gap here is 1/4. So if we convert an x, which is 1/4, so 1/4, like this, we're going to get 1/3. Did I do my math wrong yesterday? Or am I just crazy with it today? 1/3. So that means this whole gap right here is 1/3 of the entire thing, which makes sense. Like I said, it's 1 inch, and it kind of looks like it's evenly divided into thirds here as well. That's because I used my ruler for 4 and 3. So we have 1/3 split. That means we have to, here's where the weird part happens. We have 1/2 plus half of a third, which is 1/6. I don't know why I did parentheses there. And 1/2 minus 1/6. So we're going to find a common denominator, which is 6. Do 3. Oh, this is, wait. What? This cannot be right. Yeah, it's going to be 3/6 plus 1/6, which is a nice 2/3. That can't be right. 3/6 minus 1/6. Oh yeah, because I said it's divided equally into thirds. Dude, I am so stupid. So that gives us there we go. So yeah, 1/3. So yeah, this is actually a very nice ratio that we're working with. What was I doing yesterday? How wrong was my math? 1/4. I did 3/4. Let's do a sanity check. This is our conversion formula. I'm going to box these. It makes our life easier if we remember these. 4/3 times 2 equals 8/3. Oh, yep. I think my math is wrong over here. Man, that would be so nice. Is it? I don't know. Because that's grown man fails at basic algebra. Uh-oh. I feel like a goof right now. Even though this like looks like visually, it looks like it works out. This is 2/3. This is 1/3, which means my conversion wasn't totally wrong. What's going on here? $1.5. I feel very stupid right now. 1.5 is 3/2. So if we, yeah, that just gives us 1.125. What? How did I mess this up? I feel silly stupid. What did I do wrong? Because like the math works out, but it's wrong math. How do we manage that? We converted the fourth distance over here using the wrong equation. I feel so dumb. I really do. Like, maybe my 7th and 8th grade math teacher was right that I'll never make it anywhere with math. What? My brain's fried after today anyway, so. Whatever. I'm gonna stick with this, even though it feels not right, but who knows. So that gives us this, which I can't believe is correct, but whatever. It really does feel correct. If I measure this as an inch, and it is an inch, so who cares? Nice. That makes our life a lot easier. So we said that the 2/3 goes through all of this. And then the bottom of this is where the bottom of this ellipse is right here. And then I said the center of this ellipse that forms this curve is also in line with the edge of this ellipse. Ish. We're going to make them the same because they're close enough, right? Yeah. This one I picked to be something. Let's see, that's another fourth. So this is 3/8. What the center is. Go. The depth, I said, goes to here. So from that, we know that this entire ellipse, we know its diameter. So now we actually, coincidentally, know if this is in line, which it is with the top, we know where this edge is, and it's the same 1-inch diameter from here. Now I want to quantize this with actual numbers, and this actually makes me worried because it looks like for sure does it really go that deep? What the frick? Because that means it's going to intersect with our ellipse that's right here. Also, I'm going to take the tape off and roll it up because I feel like it's just in the way now. So we're just going to do this and then... Come on. There we go. I'm going to hate doing this. Untaping that later. I'm going to like forget. Nice. Mm-hmm. So that means the radius of this is 1 inch. But it does feel smaller than that. If the radius is 1 inch, that means we're intersecting right here. Which does not work with our existing thingy thing. right? These can't touch. So something's going on. Come on. Come on. Why is it? Whoever designed this is stupid. Oh my god. I give up. Hmm. Wait, is this a fourth? Oh, this is a fourth, not 3/8. Methinks. But then that makes this thing like super small. If we do a fourth. And also, yeah, this one didn't agree with it. Yes, see, let's see. This is kind of like our unit measure. Do the back of this. That does feel like a fourth. And why is this like weird? This curve was correct, which means here's our center. Which, if it is, once again, here to here, means this is even smaller. What the heck? Center of it's here. Goes down an inch. Means the top's right here. Means it goes all the way out to here. Hmm. Now, what this is telling me, this looks like an exact eighth, doesn't it? I'm so confused. Like looking at this, I just don't get how it works. Hmm. I think I see part of why I'm confused. We're doing a game of, instead of being at a half, we're just trying to form a square. So we're trying to find the equivalent dimension on the other, rather than like, let's say we had a side of 4. And we wanted a fourth of that, that would be 1 inch. If we had a side of 3 and we wanted a fourth of that, it'd be some weird number. Hmm. Hmm. We're gonna be right back really quick. Alrighty, we're back. So yeah, I'm currently stuck at the decision of where we put this center ellipse for this curve of the tape measure. We know generally that the middle of this ellipse will be aligned to this, the top of this, which we know is at 2/3. We also know generally that the x position of this is near the 1, because we know this to be a quarter. So if we use that, it's going to be approximately a quarter away. See how the center's right there? So that's well and good. But now what's the diameter? We know the x position stuff is going to be right here, xy coordinate of this ellipse. But we don't necessarily know the diameter. And even if we did know the diameter, see, this seems to be about 1/8, right? Because that was a quarter, and half of a quarter is 1/8. Welcome back, Dio. So this 1/8 position is actually quite good. So we were saying that the bottom of this ellipse is tangent, these share a line. So, the diameter or the radius is 1/4. But if the radius was 1/4 and the x position was right here, which is 1/8 away, then it would take it over, right? So I don't understand how my math is failing here. Because we undeniably have this gap in between here. The diameter really does seem to be 1.5 quarters, so that's 3/8, starting from 1/8. So going from here to here. But if that's true, how is it touching down here? That's the conflict, right? Is it's tangent to the third line, boom, which would mean its radius is a quarter. But in order for this to work out, we need 1/3. Tape, what's up, MCal? How's it going? We're struggling with the ratios and math and stuff right now. That's what I get for my pea brain trying to do lesson 6. How are you doing? We also truly don't know this height as well. That's good to hear. Sounds like you've made it work. Sorry to hear that you're stressed about it. But glad to hear that once again you found something that works for you. That's a very important part. This also means that that slant's probably going to happen over there, which I've yet to draw, actually. Oops. Why can't people who design objects make them extremely symmetric and stuff? Like, what's with all this weird dimensions and things? The challenge I'm facing is this ellipse right here. Because when we, visually measure, right, we're using this distance right here as kind of like the source of truth, right? This is about a quarter of the entire thing. Quarter, 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 quarter. Using that quarter, quarter, we can tell that the center of this ellipse right here is at the quarter mark. So boom, right here. Now that we know that this is a perfect circle, that means we can transfer the dimensions. If this is a quarter x, then it's a third in the height because the ratio here is 4:3. So that means this is 1/3 and this is 2/3. So we know the xy in position of this center to be at 1/4 x and 2/3 y. Cool. It looks like this ellipse is tangent to the 1/3 line, which means its radius would be a quarter. This is like too happy. I don't know what this song is. I was not vibing with that. Yeah, that means our radius would be 1/4 because it spans from the 2/3 to the 1/3, which transferring that to x coordinates is a quarter. But this is an eighth, right? And even if we like use a pen trick, we can tell it's half of a quarter, an eighth. If we had something that's diameter is a quarter, or radius, sorry, is a quarter, at a quarter mark, that means it would, go all the way over here. It would span past this. Right, because this, yeah. It would go all the way down here. So we're dealing with that. And we know its diameter can't be simply a quarter or an eighth. Or yeah. Its diameter can't be a quarter, its radius can't be. We're gonna talk in radii now, because I keep confusing. We know the radius can't be an eighth because this ellipse is clearly larger than this ellipse. So we're gonna have to find an in-between between a quarter and an eighth, radius-wise. That's also translates well to the 4:3 ratio that we have going on. These are the issues that we face with the tape. My knee-jerk reaction is to just make it the radius 3/8. And to move the center. Which would give us this. Shoot. Now, I wouldn't say any of this is the elliptical. I think it's a combination of measuring error and trying to make things square. Now, it will be a pain doing all the cylinders here. I think generally speaking, everything has remained the same. We're just trying to plot points that translate well with each other. Of course, drawing it, drawing those ellipses, that's gonna be tough. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to settle for this. And even then, the gap right there is very small. That's so an eighth. There's like no way. And that's so a quarter. What the heck? What would an eighth in radius look like? An eighth in radius wouldn't be deep enough. Unless we moved the X position. Or sorry, the Y position. If we moved the Y position and made it an eighth and went back here, then it'd be like that. And if we did it right here, that feels best. That's at a really weird place, though. That's in between the half and a third, which we don't need to plot exactly because we can just do the center method between both of those. That's probably our best bet. Just very weird. I don't even know what that number is. We divide between a half and a third. We've basically divided into quarters. So this is a weird 12th, isn't it? 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that'd be 4, 5, 7. So that'd be 7/12ths. Which we don't need to explicitly do. Right here. And 5/12ths over here. I think that's the best of both worlds. Probably. Keeps me sane. No, that should be like right here. So the gap is a bit larger than I'd like, but it's whatever. So yeah, that makes our radius weird. I'm getting confused where I drew this. Well, the difference is 7 and 5. That's 1/6 in radius, which we know transfers to an eighth. Really, both of these are an eighth? The frick? That makes sense because of how we drew it right here. Okay. What is this? This lower one right here. We can just say it's in between the half and the 2/3, or the 7, the 2/3 and the 7/12ths. 1, 2, 3, 4, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we're dividing the whole thing into 24ths. This would be 8 minus 1, 9. 24 minus 9 is 4, 13. 15. Yeah, 15. I was correct. Okay. So that'd be 15/24ths for this. Which once again, we don't actually need to compute. I'm going compute, dude. Oh my god. Sorry. I've been preparing for coding interviews and my whole brain has been like, if we examine the RAX register, we can see the return value that it was going to send. We know it's trying to block S-tray, so like stuff like that, like dude. Or like all the late code BS. All the red underlined stuff means we should not like do anything special to find those measurements. We can easily derive them by just, yeah. Cool, we're making progress. And pretty freaking, like, this is elegant. I feel like, you know, Occam's razor, this is a relatively elegant solution. Now, of course, drawing this is going to be ellipse hell. Like, I hope this is known and everyone agrees. Ellipses are going to be tough here. Also, I just realized a new issue. Is what is this gap? We're also going to have a gap over here as well. And ideally, these will be symmetric. Because why do two different things when we can just easily use the mirroring method? Right. So this curve is going to go all the way out to the third, like this. From, I guess, the eighth over here. And then at the 2/3, it's going to intersect. What these smaller measurements are, I have no clue. We could do something really sick and twisted, because we're already doing a lot of these. Oh, it's so tiny. Like, even compared to the 8th, that's tiny, tiny. I guess, yeah, because that would be a 16th. This would be a 32nd, a 64th. And that is really, like, the vibe I'm getting from these, and how small they are. I may bump it up to a 16th, though, or a 32nd, though. It's a relatively easy thing to derive. And, like, the mess is to the sides, right? We don't, like, have to worry about it too much. So I think we're going to stick with that. Okay. Now, ooh, goodness. We're assuming that this ellipse, it shares the center, at least in the X position. Otherwise, it would feel weird. You could also resort to finer subdivisions for particular sections and larger subdivisions. What does that mean? To reduce visual noise. You could also resort to those finer subdivisions. Sadly, I do not know what that means. Let me see, these are 30-second for now. I guess we don't need... Oh, ooh. Issue. Big issue. Because this looks symmetric all the way around. Oh, but it isn't... Okay, yeah, these don't need to meet. So we can do really whatever we want. Because right here, we're saying the diameter of this is greater than a fourth. Or like 3/8. Or radius. Oh, that's already what I do. Yeah, for the stapler. Wherever that is. Yeah, I had like little sections cordoned off on the side. I never do like a full division for everything. Yeah, we've been doing that since the mouse. In fact, I did that a little bit too much during the mouse. That was one of my mistakes. I like constantly divided cells into like their smallest numbers, when instead those dimensions could have been shared by multiple cells. So I didn't have to do it as much, and I made it very noisy in certain clusters instead of like dividing it out. Also, Little Nightmares soundtrack, shout out. I finished Reanimal the other day. I kept crashing. If you're at a certain segment near the end of the game, I won't spoil it, and it keeps like fading out and just staying at a black screen, and you can't join your friend's game, mash escape. No, you're fine, you're fine. Yeah, whenever I say like I've been doing that, it's not in like a mean way. I do have to play the game of like, because like there have been plenty of people who have joined the stream very eager to give either what they think is great advice or what is it great advice, you know. But it's always like a balancing act of, is this person actually helping? I'm not saying you are, by the way. You are definitely a person who helps, especially like the slices stuff and all the recommendations. But yeah, it is a balancing act between people joining and like, you need to do it this way, which once again is not you, Mikal. And people actually legitimately being helpful, which is you. I remember there's this one dude, I can't remember the name. They would join stream and just hate. Not hate in a mean way, but they'd be like, why are you doing it this way? I've already drawn 20 boxes. Or like 20 cylinders. Yeah, those during the cylinder challenge. He's like, and the time it took you to do one, I've drawn 50 of them already. I'm like, cool, man. What a character. Also, I realized this is going to end up being straight, which it is, kind of. We're going to assume it is. We're going to pretend. That helps the flow feel a bit better. I'll leave a note here for this one. There we go. Like that. Alrighty. So yeah, as we know, this actually bends back up to meet it somewhere, which is a little bit helpful. So we assume that this is 1 1/8 in diameter. So if it is, it would be ending over here. Yeah, 1 1/8, right here. Like that. Oh, wait, why does it start? Oh. Interesting. Oh, wait. Oh, whoa, it's warped. Is it? No. This only goes... I'm gonna run this down to the half, actually. Because that makes making this ellipse a lot easier. There we go. So it's smaller now, but that's okay. We'll live with that. Now we have to decide where this curve ends. Remember, we need the slant. I'm already seeing something. Oh, wait, no, this ends here. It's a bit of a red herring. So if it slants forward, that could be our first 16th. I'm not sure what height that would constitute. No, you're fine, you're fine. Don't stress. I will definitely let you know if things are annoying. It's basically been my New Year's resolution is to call out people who are like being weird on stream. Don't worry, you're not. So this is a half of one of the thirds. So that is a sixth, believe it or not. Wow, Kavel can do math. And this will be a 16th. Specifically, if it's above a fourth, and it's less than 3/8, then it's going to be 5/16. Like this. Yeah, I wouldn't have started YouTube if I this isn't enticing it, but if I couldn't handle a little bit of people coming in here and critiquing me, even in a good way, right? Critique can just hurt. And of course I will falter. I will get upset at critiques or whatever, but I'll never seriously mean it, you know. That feels a little bit too much, doesn't it? It feels like it's exactly an eighth away. But we need that slant, and we can't do that because exactly an eighth away is this. So we could either do a smaller dimension, or we can just cope with the overhang. I think we'll cope with the overhang. Nice. Doing very, very well this stream. I'm very happy with this. Very, very well. This feels like it's an 8th from the top. Or the 8th from the side over here. Which also, coincidentally, we're gonna do it with the tape in the dispenser, because come on. I need more ellipses to torture myself. So it's gonna go for the 3/8 over here to what is technically the 7/8 over here. Now we just need to translate that to be a true square. So we're gonna do our weird math that shouldn't be working, but is. So we have basically our top and our bottom, and then we have the curve, which is subtracting an 8th from all the sides. So if we did it here, this looks weird. 1/8, 1/8. And we know that 1/8 is a 6th. I'm going to really highlight that that's where that is. But that doesn't feel big enough, does it? That means we're only doing this big. And also it overhangs this curve. We could choose a weird and sick and twisted dimension, or we could just sit with it. I am cool with sitting with it because we've been doing weird and sick and twisted dimensions recently. And while cool, and plus, like, let's say we chose something other than 8th. We chose 3/16 to make it slightly larger. Or, no. It'd be 1/16. Then that means we'd have to put it into the engine, and that makes it 1/12 up here, which wouldn't necessarily be horrible. So mark this as a 6th. So we ought to make that decision. But we're going to call it there for today, because I have a lot of stuff to do tonight. Really good stream, good time, all that good stuff. A lot of Chris doing over here. I was going crazy with it. So, yeah, we're going to wrap it up here, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me tonight. Thank you, MCow. Thank you, Dio, Bear, and Cat. We will not be streaming tomorrow. I need to update the stream schedule because I'm lazy, evil streamer. God, I opened up my like creator dashboard and I just saw the stupid freak emote just like jump scare me. But yeah, so we'll be taking off tomorrow. Should be a pretty normal stream schedule after that. Yeah, so once again, thank you all very much for joining me tonight, and I cannot wait to see you guys on Thursday. Bye for now.